What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey. And today, we're going to talk about the NBA playoff round 2, Game 5 matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. This game will be played at 8 p.m. East Coast time. The line did open up at over-under 217.5. New York minus 2.5. The line has since moved to over-under 217 and New York minus 2. All right, so when you talk about these two teams and how this series has been looking, first you got to start off with the fact that the Indiana Pacers are looking for a third straight win to take a surprising 3-2 series lead. The Pacers are 1-4 straight up on the road in these playoffs, man. All right, just keeping it 100 with you. All right, the Pacers are averaging 114.8 points on 49.5% shooting and allowing 110.7 points on 47.5% shooting. All right. Whereas the Knicks hope to keep the trend alive at home by winning every game in this series at home. They actually have to. And the positive on that end is the Knicks are 4-1 straight up at home in these playoffs. All right. Now the Knicks are averaging 109.6 points per game on 45.5% shooting and allowing 111.9 points on 47.6% shooting. All right, when they're playing at home. So let's first take a look at the series and how this thing has played out thus far, right? So, game 1, Pacers lost 121 to 117. All right, first quarter, Knicks was up 27-24. Second quarter, Pacers came back roaring and scored 31 points to 22 points. Pacers covered the first half there. Then the Pacers scored 32 points to the Knicks 33 points in the third quarter. And then the Knicks came out in the fourth quarter and just they marched back. They scored 39 points to the Pacers 30 points in order to win that game, guys. Jalen Brunson scored 43 on 14 of 26 shooting, shot 14 free throws in that game, which is key. I keep telling you guys that the only way the Knicks are able to slow the game down is by drawing fouls and getting to that line. Miles Turner did lead the Pacers with 23 points. Shooting on 8 of 16. The Pacers shot 52.3% from the field, whereas the Knicks shot 53.7% from the field. Pacers did shoot 38.5% from 3, whereas the Knicks came out and shot crazy, man. 47.8% from 3, guys. But the Knicks were turning it over. They turned the ball over 15 times, whereas the Pacers only turned it over 8 times. But the Knicks did win the rebounding battle in that game, 40-32. So once again, it comes down to that rebounding battle, man. And who's shooting better from 3. All right, in all these series, it comes down to the rebounding battle, who's shooting better from 3. But like I said, pay attention to the trends on how these things go in quarter by quarter, you guys, because at the end of the day, there are positions that you can obtain during the live game bet. Also, you always want to look at first halves and things like that. But so in game 2, Knicks came out, beat them 130 to 121. First quarter, it was 36-36. Second quarter, Pacers came out and scored 37. Knicks only scored 27, so the Pacers were winning the first half again. So they covered that first half again. Then the Pacers didn't do anything in third quarter. They literally only scored 18 points. Knicks came out and scored 36. And then in the fourth quarter, the Knicks scored 31 to the Pacers 30. All right, so that's how I got to that 130-121. Pacers now covered both games in the first half. All right, Halliburton scored 34 points on 11-19 shooting. Brunson came out, scored 29 points on 11-18 shooting. He only got to the free throw line 6 times, though. And then when you look at how they shot, the Pacers shot 51.6% from the field, whereas the Knicks, they shot 57% from the field, you guys. And then both teams were firing up threes. I mean, the Knicks shot 46.7% from 3, and the Pacers shot 44.1% from 3. The Knicks even turned the ball over more. They turned the ball over 11 times to the Pacers' 9 turnovers. But once again, that rebounding, those second chance points is where it really comes in at, because the Pacers got out rebounded 44-34, in that game, guys. So once again, Pacers covered the first half, game 2, and the Knicks won. You know what I mean? Now let's look at game 3. Game 3. Pacers came out, won 111 to 106. First quarter, Knicks scored 20 points. Pacers scored 29 points. Second quarter, Knicks scored 38 points to the Pacers 34 points. So once again, Pacers covering the first half, guys. All right, just saying. All right, now third quarter, Knicks came out, scored 32 points. Pacers came out, scored 22. And then in the fourth quarter, Knicks just laid down, man. They only scored 16 points. The Pacers came out and scored 26 points so they can come out and get the victory. Halliburton had 35 points. He only got to the free throw line one time in that game. But Dante DiVincenzo, he had 35 points in that game as well. All right, now, so from the field, the Knicks shot 47.5% from the field, whereas the Pacers shot 47.2% from the field. Knicks even came out and shot 51.9% from three. Did you hear that? 51.9% from three and lost. Okay. Whereas the Pacers, okay, they shot 37.5% from three. Now, the Knicks did turn the ball over more in that game. They turned the ball over 13 times, whereas the Pacers only had 10 turnovers. But the rebounding, the Pacers out-rebounded them by one rebound. It was 42-41 rebounds, guys. You know, and that was actually the key to the actual game. Now, when you look at game 4, Pacers came out and beat the brakes off of them 121-89. First quarter, Knicks only scored 14 points. Pacers scored 34. Second quarter, Knicks only scored 27 points. Pacers scored 35. So Pacers once again covered the first half. Then the third quarter, Knicks scored 22. Pacers scored 32. Fourth quarter, Pacers really let off the gas and scored 20, and the Knicks scored 26. You know, so if they don't come out in that third quarter and do what they're supposed to do, Knicks, when we're talking about with the Knicks, then it's usually over for the Knicks. The Knicks have to come out in the third quarter and close whatever lead the Pacers will have, because Pacers usually have the lead, as you can see, at halftime, guys. All right, and they're covering. All right. Halliburton only scored 20 points in that game, whereas Alec Burke scored 20 points. Knicks shot 33.7% from the field, whereas the Pacers shot 56.8% from the field. Now, see, hold up. Before we go any further, you guys got to understand one key thing. Well, I'll get there in a second. So, the Knicks only shot 18.9% from three down this last game, guys. I don't think that's going to happen again. I just don't think that's going to happen again. Pacers shot 45.2% from three, which is usual, you know, round range. 14 turnovers to 14 turnovers, and the Pacers won the rebounding battle 52-43. So when you're talking about where these two teams are at right now and how they're going to match up for this next matchup, the Knicks are on demand. Like, it's no easier way to say it. The Knicks are going to come into this on demand. I'll go over the injury report with you in a second. But Brunson says, yeah, we're shorthanded, but that doesn't matter right now. We have what we have, and we need to go forward with that. So there is no we're shorthanded. There is no excuse. There is no excuse whatsoever. If we lose, we lose. All right, now, dang, that's a strong statement to make, brother. I mean, especially since I don't even think that's a positive statement. Like, I don't know. I can't take that positively, man. And then Halliburton, he came out and said, it just feels good to get a win. But we have to understand that at the end of the day, all we did is our job and win 2 games at home. We understand the magnitude of Game 5, and we'll be prepared for that. So when you're looking at the injury report, like I was just about to tell you guys about, man, there's been the major shift in this series was OG Anunoby being out for the last 2 games. Okay, the last 2 games without OG Anunoby, literally they just don't have what they need. OG Anunoby is the key to the New York Knicks. And looking at this injury report, you got OG Anunoby, and he's questionable. He's still dealing with that left hamstring strain, and it's unknown if he'll suit it up tonight, you know, in this Game 5 Eastern Conference semifinals. All right, we all know Mitchell Robinson's out, Bogdanovich is out, and Julius Randle's out. And for the Pacers, you know, Benedict Mathurin been out. So, these are the things we do know that are for sure. But we got to find out what's going to happen with OG Anunoby, because he's the key to make this thing go. If OG ain't out there, then it could be some problems for the Knicks at the end of this game, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look how they've been looking so far this season, head to head. So far this season, head-to-head, these 2 teams have played 7 times, and out of the 7 times they've played, the Pacers have won 4, and the Knicks have won 3. All right, and then when you look at who's covering, the Pacers have covered 4, and the Knicks have covered 3. All right, so the Pacers are 4-3 straight up and 4-3 against the spread so far against them this season, and it has been 4 to the under and 3. 4 to the under and 3 to the over. So it's been leaning towards the under in this series since they've been playing this season, not just counting this playoff, guys, because it's important to understand these are two teams that match up a lot. This is just what they do. All right, and when they play each other, to be honest with you, the Pacers don't score any less than 105 points this season. That is the lowest amount of points that the Pacers have scored against the Knicks this season. All right, and the lowest amount of points that the Knicks have scored against the Pacers is that 89 the other night. But without that 89, it would be 106 points. All right, so you got to understand these two teams, they do score against each other. It's not saying that they don't score against each other, especially with them being 6-4 to the over in the last 10 times that they played. But like I said, it's 4 to the under and 3 to the over this season somehow. All right, now when you're looking at how these two teams match up, you guys, and just what they've been doing as far as on the season and in the playoffs, so straight up, we know both teams are coming in here 6-4 in the playoffs as a home favorite. Okay, the Knicks are 28-7, whereas as a away underdog, the Pacers are 12-16. Now, when they have equal rest, all right, the Pacers are 38-23, and the Knicks are 35-23. So that kind of makes it a little bit more even, when you're looking towards the rest situation. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, without OG Anunoby, this team is 30-31 on the season now, or 30-32 on the season, including the playoffs, whenever OG Anunoby does not play. So that's why he is the key to making this thing go. Now, when you talk about against the spread, both teams are 5-5 on the playoffs. And when you look as a home favorite on the season, the Knicks are 19-16, whereas an away underdog, the Pacers are 15-12. So 15-12-1. I'm sorry. So it's a little bit more closer on that end. Okay, but when you look at these two teams over unders in the playoffs, it's 6 to the over and 4 to the under for both of these teams. They've both been playing a very high-paced game somehow. When we think Knicks, we think defense, we think slow the game down, we think Tom Thibodeau. But he doesn't have enough players to play it like that, I don't think. I just, in my personal opinion, I don't think that he has enough players to execute his actual game plan on how he would like to play this game. And that's why they've been playing so fast. Plus, the Pacers just kind of force you to play fast at the end of the day. Now, if you can slow them down, then you got a chance. But as an away underdog, it's 16 to the over, 11 to the under, 1 push. And then with the New York Knicks as a home favorite, it is 16 to the over, 19 to the under, guys, on the season. But like I said, in this playoffs, they're 6-4. And when you're looking at how these teams have been playing it, just the last 3 times that they played each other, you gotta come to the understanding that the Pacers are averaging 117.7 points per game, and the Knicks are averaging 108.3 points per game. The team totals right now are set at the Knicks 108.5 is the lowest you can get it. The highest would be a Knicks 110.5, and then the Pacers 106.5 and 108.5. Now, remember, I told you the lowest amount of points that the Pacers have scored against this team is like 106 points. Hence, it's 106.5, guys. You got to pay attention to how these people get to these numbers. You know what I mean? But that's a good number. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead. Let's keep talking because look, like I said, it was that 117.5 is what the Pacers have been scoring. But that's with that big blowout 32-point loss from the other day. So last thing, guys, just so you understand where we're looking at, what the last things you really need to understand about this game is that. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So the Pacers have won 9 of the last 11 Tuesday games as underdogs. The Knicks have lost 5 game 5s. Wait, I'm sorry. The Knicks have lost game 5 in each of their last 3 playoff series when tied 2-2. Okay, the Pacers have covered the spread in each of their last 9 Tuesday games as road underdogs, and the Knicks have failed to cover the spread in 3 of their last 4 home games against Eastern Conference opponents that held a winning record. All right, now when you talk about the Knicks, the Pacers have lost each of their last 10 playoff road games against Eastern Conference opponents following a win. All right, the Knicks have won each of their last 10 Eastern Conference semifinal home games against Central Division opponents following a loss, and the Knicks have covered the spread in 7 of their 8 games as home favorites against the Pacers following a loss. Now, the Pacers have also failed to cover the spread in 8 of their last 10 playoff games as underdogs, guys. Each of the Pacers' last 6 games as underdogs have gone over the total points line, and 9 of the Knicks' last 10 home games have gone over the total points line, you guys. So, what am I looking at? What do I like? I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be the Pacers' first half. Pacers' first half plus 1.5 maybe, or just plus a half a point. I'll probably take the 1.5, but I'm definitely rocking with the Pacers first half. That's just where I'm at. If the Knicks don't have enough players to run with them, yes, and early in the game, that'd be their best opportunity to try to run with them. But at the same time, I pay attention to the trends, and for me, Pacers won the first half in every single game this series. The Knicks, they closed games well, and they closed the distance in that third quarter. So me personally, I got to take the Pacers first half. I do like this game to go over. We are looking at 2 of the worst defenses left in the NBA playoffs, guys, like I told y'all the other day. So I do like the over, the 217 or 216.5 if you can get that, somewhere around there. But I do like that over, or you could look towards a team total over. Like I said, the Pacers over 106.5. I do like that a lot. I think that they can get over that easily. So I'll probably get home on that one too. All right, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.